Thank you, Marty. Yes. Thank you so much, Queen of New York. Oh my God. I'm Anto Estudillo. I'm a programmer here at NewFest. And I'm super excited to have a panel Q&A with some of the people involved in the film. We're gonna let the music go, apparently. Woo! Give it up for Queen of New York. Yes, okay, now we can do it. I'm Marti Cummings. I'm one of the programmers at NewFest, and as a trans non-binary individual artist, programmer, I was so excited to see this film play this year. And yeah, I am really thankful for Marty, for what they did, but also for everyone out there from our community who's getting the work done, who is really putting themselves out there, and asking for, for our rights to be heard, for our voices, for our lives to be heard. So thank you so much for everyone who's doing the work, who's, politically engaged. Anyway, I would like to invite to the stage Emma Fidel, director, producer, and DP of Queen of New York. Brian Derrick. Brian, are you out there? Marty's campaign manager, political strategist. Thank you. Peachez Iman Cummings. Marty's a drag daughter. Peachez. And Brita Filter, co-chair of Drag Out the Voice, along with Marty as well. Drag Out the Vote. It's an NPO that works with drag performers to promote participation in democracy. Listen. All right.
I'm in heels, Emma. We are doing heels. They're chairs. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We did it. Do you want to sit in the middle?
I'm good.
I think you should.
All right. A big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this amazing film. Yeah, I think one of the things that the audience probably would love to know is, Emma, how did you meet Marty and Brian, and how did the film come to be? We'd love to know that.
Absolutely, of course. Thank you all, you three, so much for being here. I first heard about Marti Cummings from my producer, Dan Ming. Dan had met, he's over there. Dan had met Marty. Dan went to one of Marty's shows, and Marty took Dan's phone, went on Dan's Instagram, and made Dan follow Marty from Dan's phone. So that is how that's how Dan came to know about Marti Cummings. Around the time that Marty made headlines for being the first drag queen to interview a presidential candidate, when they sat down with Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Dan pointed Marty out to me, and we were both journalists, we were working together, and kind of said, this is somebody we should know. I watched Marty's interview with Gillibrand and was just like, who is this person? This person is amazing. As a political reporter, somebody who's always loved drag, I started following them too, of course. And so that fall, when Marty announced that they were running for city council, actually Dan and I both independently thought to ourselves, this is a movie I'd want to watch. And in fact, one we wanted to make. And so we reached out to Marti cold, and then to Brian, and basically pitched ourselves as journalists and filmmakers who wanted to tell their story in earnest. And I'm so grateful that they accepted.
And there's something really beautiful about the way that you shot the film, because you directed, shot, DP'd, and produced the film. And I think the personality, Marti's personality, really comes through the film.
Thank you.
And I really loved, those moments of humor. It was so, we could truly see Marti's personality. Tell us about, that collaboration with Marti. Like, were you, calling the shots together? How was that?
It was wonderful. No, I mean, I feel like Brian could answer that better than I could. No, I think from the start, whenever you're starting a relationship, but especially a documentarian participant relationship, there's a lot of figuring out what makes sense between the two of us and then between the wider campaign world. And one of the things that threw a wrench in that right away was COVID. Our first shoot was February 2020, and a month later, everything changed. And so I think we were all navigating so many different things at once, but I was so grateful that the campaign kept me in the loop throughout. And I think when Marti was out protesting and I came with them, I think that's when we kind of like saw each other and we're on the level, and we were like, okay, we're gonna be doing this for a while, and yeah, it was a partnership in terms of knowing what Marti's schedule was, trying to understand how Marti was feeling that day, how much I could ask or not ask, how much I could be in the room or not be in the room, and yeah, I don't take any of that for granted. Having a camera changes everything. And so I'm so grateful that it worked out, and we had very few bumps along the road as far as projects like this go, being the fly on the wall, so to speak. Yeah, I loved it.
Amazing. And Brian, working with Marti, when did that start?
Oh, wow. I've been friends with Marti for years, before they even considered their first run. And I work in politics, so I was, I guess, the default pick. And as Marti became more and more serious about running for office, it turned from a conversation that would come up every once in a while into something that they put their entire heart into. As you can see in the film, they put their entire life and heart into running, and I saw that commitment and wanted to be a part of it, and so I felt very lucky to be Marti's campaign manager.
And how was it to navigate a whole film crew, and like that decision of making a film out of the campaign and the election? How was that decision?
It certainly felt like a risk. All campaigns have a very pretty side that the public is meant to see, and a sort of behind the scenes that oftentimes is a little grittier. And to say, okay, we're gonna open up the entire thing to be on film all the time, felt like a risk and felt intense from the very outset. And so we had a long conversation about it after we met to see if it was something that we were comfortable with. Marti, of course, is not camera shy, but it's a different kind of vulnerability to be doing something as intense and difficult as running for office, and to be under a microscope all of the time, even when you go home and close your door. But I think that they managed it really well. We were very lucky to have Iman and Dan and the team that we did. And yeah, I was thrilled to be part of it.
And you see the whole range, right? From the beginning, from the hope till the end, which is really tough to see. But, as an audience member today, I just feel like, I just want Marti to continue doing what they're doing. So please tell Marti. We need them.
I think that we all probably feel the same way. Yeah, Marti's not going anywhere.
Okay, great. Amazing. Peachez.
Hi.
Hi. You look amazing.
Thank you. Better than that crunchy bitch in the video. That was a long time ago.
So I would love to know about Marti's team, right? And you were part of that team. I would love to know, how it felt for you to be a part of this campaign, and to be, with Marti being non-binary, how much that inspired you to come out as non-binary at the end of the film. Yeah, I would love to hear your experience campaigning along with Marti.
Sure. To be honest, I have no idea how I ended up working for the campaign. I just, Marti and I had if any of you have met Marti in the initial first probably 4 meetings, she doesn't know who you are. And then after 5 or 6 meetings, she's like, oh, you're my favorite person. I'm gonna find out how to make the world better with you. And that kind of happened with Marti, where I did a competition that she hosted, and then randomly during the pandemic, she adopted me, and then all of a sudden I was working on this campaign, and Marti and I got stupid close really quickly, and in one of the darkest times ever. So that made it kind of easier having this light that Marti is insane and I'm crazy, so the two of us were just kind of let's be crazy together while we're wearing masks and dancing on concrete in the snow. But because of that, I got to learn so much about local politics, and it helped me grow as a drag artist because I had a point of view. I think I got into drag because I wanted to be able to be hey, I'm a Black queer person. And frankly, in New York, especially in Hell's Kitchen, where a lot of us go out and work, it's just nothing but white people, and all of the performers are white, and all of the music is white, and I'm oh my God, we have to find a way to change this. And somehow, this non-binary white person was let's make things different. And I think that's the appeal of Marti, and why this campaign was so special and challenging was because they are white, and they also somehow can draw everybody in and make them want to do better and be a part of something different.
And you can really see the community around Marti. It's not just Marti doing this, it's so many more people. Maybe Peachez or Brian can talk about that group of people that were campaigning as well. Who are they? Are they still,
The other candidates?
No.
Our team.
Oh, your team. Yeah.
I mean, Davis.
Yeah, there's so many people here
Oh yeah, are
tonight.
they here?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many here.
There's so many people here.
Can you stand up? Can you please stand up?
Yeah.
You were in the campaign.
Stand up if you were on Team Marti.
Thank you.
I mean, at this point, we have law school graduates since the campaign. We have people that have gone down and worked in DC since the campaign. Everybody.
Yeah, I guess I would just add that local politics look so different than what you picture on the West Wing or whatever. It is done mostly volunteer. I was a volunteer for 80% of it, 90% of it. Most of the team was a volunteer the entire time, and so it took such a village. It's sort of a cliche, but it really did take hundreds of people. And I think that's part of what resonated with me about the film, is that you do have this rush of enthusiasm of especially young people, but a very diverse crowd getting excited about local politics for the first time ever. And that is the power of what Marti led and what we all built together, was a belief, this optimism that we can work together to make our city and our future brighter. And when Marti talks about bringing the joy to politics, that's what I saw every single day on the campaign trail. I've worked on a lot of campaigns, and Usually, the people that I get to hang out with aren't this beautiful, and they're not as much fun. So the team was incredible and really made the entire experience.
Amazing. Brita, Filter. It's such an honor to have you here.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that's very prominent in the film is the idea that drag is political. And I've not only heard in the film, but you hear it when you go out, and you protest in the Queer Liberation March, with everyone there in community. Drag is political. And yeah, I would love to know the work you do in Drag Out the Vote, and also how much that political engagement has, had an impact in your drag performance or yourself as a drag artist.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me. But also, I'm the national co-chair of Drag Out the Vote with Marti Cummings, actually. And Marti is a huge reason why I started to get involved with politics. And what Drag Out the Vote is it's a nonprofit, nonpartisan group, and we use our activism of drag to get the word out and to get people activated and ready to vote. There are so many individuals, especially within the youth of America specifically, that don't really know what is going on in our country. And you don't see like these giant headlines on the news that's specifically happening with the LGBTQIA+ community. I mean, there's right now, there was over 600 bills and legislation that was trying to be passed this year. Some of them did pass, but it's insane. Anti-trans, anti-drag, and it's crazy. And so for us to be on the other side of it, and drag queens are essentially the leaders of the queer community. I mean, with the Stonewall riots that happened in 1969, it was drag queens and trans women of color who fought back for the Stonewall riots. And then we had the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence in San Francisco. And you ain't gonna ignore, baby, when I walk into a room and I'm looking like this, I'm gonna talk to you about voting, sis. And so, and the first time I ever went with Marti and I were, I got very political in 2016. I went to my first march with Marti. Marti really instilled that in me, and to see what they could do with so many other community members through this film alone and inspire so many other people. There's so many queens across the country right now that because of Drag Out the Vote and because people like Marti Cummings, we are truly just making change and trying to give people the correct information to know that we aren't here to hurt anyone, baby, and we're here to make change for the better.
So we don't have that much time left, but we would love to hear from the audience. If the audience if there's a question out there, anything you would like to ask our guests tonight? Yes, over there.
What's next for each of you?
What's next for each of you?
Well, I'm unemployed, and if anybody's looking for an executive assistant. No, after this, Marti and I went and did Worst Cooks in America, and we won that.
Yes.
You just won that.
Well, I like to say we. She gets really mad at me. She won for the red team, I won for the blue team, and then I won the whole thing. This family is great. And then we did another TV thing, and now I personally I'm at a crossroads. I just celebrated 10 years in the city on the 1st, and I told myself after 5 years, if I hated New York, I would find somewhere else to go. And then after 5 years, I started doing drag, and so I was like, cool, now I'm here, and now another 5 years have gone by, and now I'm like, what do I do? So I don't know. That's my answer.
That's totally fine.
After completing this race, I launched an organization called Oath, like Oath of Office. Thank you, thanks. that works to help get people engaged in state and local elections all over the country, so that you can impact the issues that matter most to you, whether that's repo rights or LGBT equality, gun safety, climate change. A lot of the decisions that are affecting us all are being made not in Washington, D.C., but right down the road in a city council or in your state house. And so the goal of Oath is to help people find those elections that are most consequential and get engaged.
Right now, I'm working with Drag Out the Vote on the general election that's coming up. And hopefully everyone is registered to vote. Baby, Tuesday, November 7th, mama. We are actually having a giant pre-voting extravaganza on Monday the 6th at Industry Bar, so everyone should attend that. It's gonna be really amazing. And I actually just got I filled out this application for this voting retreat of getting the most influential creators in the country to meet up and see how we can make voting accessible, but also like creative content to get the younger generation up and moving. So I'll be doing that this fall. Yeah.
I am looking forward to taking a little nap. I have a few different projects in development. I love covering climate change and biodiversity. I don't love, wait a minute. No, wrong. I cover climate change and biodiversity loss, and so I'm developing some ideas there, and also developing a potential follow doc about about squash being in the Olympics for the first time in 2028, a personal project with a friend who's going to get Italian citizenship to be able to play. So I'm very excited about that. But no, I too, like Peachez, am looking for my next thing. And also so excited to continue the life of Queen of New York throughout next year. Please stay tuned for updates about where you can tell people to watch us. And please vote for the Audience Award as well.
Yes, so that QR code up there takes you to the voting. Please vote. 5 is, what you should be given this film. And then go out, if you can go out too as well, and there are other volunteers with the QR code, but please vote.
I only see like 10 phones up right now.
Get your phones up.
Marty would take each person's phone and please do that on their behalf.
And can we know what's next for Marty?
Marty just started a job with Equality New York. That's based in Brooklyn. What is she doing with them?
They'll be working on legislation, like trying
right.
to, like queer rights, and I think more voter engagement. They're perfect for it.
It's the perfect follow-up to
Yeah.
losing a city council race. She said, I'm still gonna get paid for it.
And they're traveling the world with drag, which I also love to do. So, yeah,
Well,
they're
thank
great.
you so much to all of you. Thank you for everything that you do. Continue to enjoy the festival. And vote for the film. Thank you.